Hi, everybody. Welcome back to Stefanie Drysdale's Weekly Cyber Recap. It's number 36 for Friday, September 11th, 2020. Miss Stefanie, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Chuck. How are you?
Good. It's a somber day, of course, September 11th. No matter what you were doing that day, you remember exactly where you were and what was happening. So a difficult day, I think, for everybody. But nonetheless, the show must go on.
No, absolutely. It's a somber day that we have Patriots Day to remember all those that we lost and show respect for them on this anniversary of 9/11 and the senseless tragedy that was really motivated only by political and religious hatred. So I think it's a reminder that we came together that day, all of us, to support one another and stand against a common enemy. Though it was an enemy from a different place, it's not really that different, in my opinion, from the internal enemies that we face today with COVID and racism and violence against women. It's just a reminder for us, I think, to just be the best of who we were that day, even on the days that we disagree with one another. So hopefully we can do that again. So this week there was an in-Homeland Security article on the fallout from the GED matched genealogy database breach. So the site said that the info was somewhat obfuscated. It was translated and coded into a format for the use of their software to make it easier, as well as to kind of eliminate the risk of the actual user's DNA code online. The key here, I think, is that once the info is out there, you no longer control who sees it and how it's used. And in this particular case, the privacy settings were defaulted to allow public access, regardless of the user's preference. That's a very, very big deal. And it's something that I think should give us all pause, regardless of the type of website we're logging into, just how the information is potentially going to be used. And when it's more sensitive, like finances or DNA or anything like that, to use an extra degree of caution and make sure that you know where your information is going and how it potentially could be abused. HelpNet Security shared some insight this week on mapping the motives of insider threats, citing the cost to an organization to average over $300,000 for just a simple negligence, to over $755,000 for criminal or malicious attacks, and up to $871,000 for credential theft. Especially through the pandemic, we've seen a significant uptick in insider threats. I think a lot of that is due to fear and financial worries, layoffs, family and health concerns, disagreements with how an organization or even our government is handling things, and then the stresses of homework. So definitely be on high alert for any kind of shift in your team's overall culture and how they're reacting and responding. Keep in touch with people and make sure the systems are in place to quickly address anything that might be a concern. So just when kids thought that they had been deprived of the occasional snow days due to remote learning, Lazo Gonk and Bob Carver shared a Miami Herald story about a 16-year-old Miami high schooler who's now facing felony charge for using a computer in an attempt to defraud and a misdemeanor charge in interference with an educational institution after he launched a very simple DDoS attack on his school. So DDoS attacks, as you guys know, hopefully remember, they're basically just a slew of random computers that send a bunch of data packets to try to overwhelm a website. So everyone's asking at this particular point, why wasn't the district able to prevent such a simple attack? Speculating that they must have been really out of date on their router configuration. So simple fix, big problem. So everyone make sure that you guys are staying up to date on those types of things. And hopefully we'll get to return to snow days soon. So James W. shared a Forbes article titled "Why You Should Stop Sending Photos on Apple iMessage." So Apple has, and not too long from now, Android will have some clunky ways to adjust the settings and retain some of your privacy when you send photos through their messaging. It's called EXIF data on each of your photos about where the photo was taken, the location, the specific device that was used, and other personal identifiers can be viewable when you send those pictures or photos via text or SMS messages. Messenger and WhatsApp remove that data, but they still have a lot of privacy and security problems, even with their encryption. Everyone knows I'm a big fan of Signal. It's not perfect and nothing is 100% safe, but an absolute improvement from all of this. So be mindful that sending those, any kind of photos are definitely not safe, and your information can be stripped from those photos. Another quick, easy tidbit that might be helpful if you don't want to download extra apps for messaging or things like that is screenshots. So if you have a photo on your phone and you just want to take a screenshot of it and then send it, that will strip off the EXIF data as well. So good things to know. So this week, the New York Times published an article on how we're all socially awkward now, comparing the COVID isolation to like a soldier's return from war or an astronaut's return after a mission. The observation was that those who acknowledged or anticipated the awkwardness had an easier time readjusting and reacclimating. Highlights the importance for us all to support and be really patient with one another, both now and even when things begin to open up again. So, be kind to one another. This week wraps up National Suicide Prevention Week. There's a lot going on in the world right now on top of just the regular stuff that everyone deals with. So if you're struggling, if you know someone who's struggling, please reach out, please connect, please get a resource and get some support behind you. This too shall pass. And there are lots of people who want to see your smiling face tomorrow. So anyway, that's all I have for you all this week, and I hope everyone has a wonderful weekend, and I'll look forward to seeing you next Friday.